Zoom video. All right, I've got 6 o'clock. You start off.
All right, I'd like to call to order the City of Mayville Public Safety Committee meeting at 6 p.m. Please take the roll.
Alderperson Baker,
Here.
Alderperson Newman,
Here.
Alderperson Olson is not here at this time, but we do have that quorum.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Item 3, approval of minutes. March 25th, 2025, public safety meeting.
Big motion on that.
Second that.
Jeez.
Bless
All
you.
in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any citizen comments? Being none. Item 5, monthly police department report to the public safety committee.
Good evening, everyone. As far as the police department goes, we don't have anything to report, for this evening. Everything's going well and we're real busy. So that's about all I got for you to report. I don't have anything specific. From an emergency management standpoint, things I do, just want to touch on the tornado sirens. They are now all officially, tonight's probably a good reason to tell everybody this, but hopefully don't need them tonight. But they are all operational as of now, as of last week. I want to emphasize that we did have a problem with the North Main Street tornado siren. It was not working properly. For tornado week, it did not even go off. We do have that fixed and corrected. And then I was in on Saturday and did listen on North Main Street on North German Street that it was working properly. One thing I want to explain is we did go from 9 sirens to 5, and there are some locations where there is not a siren anymore. And some of the residents are quite used to that. They're used to having one right outside their door, and that's able to wake them up in their houses and that. And some of the locations that things have changed. The new system was designed so that we have at least 70 decibels outside that covers the entire city. And the tornado sirens, as the previous system was designed, and this system is designed, is to warn people outside their homes that there is a pending weather event. And some of the complaints that I've had is that you can't hear it inside the house anymore. And most of those locations are where there was a tornado siren that was taken out, that was close to that resident's home, and some of that stuff has changed. The previous system was not nearly as loud. We did have more locations, but there was less spots where we had at least 70 decibels. So this new system now covers the entire city completely, and it's something that's a little different for some of the residents, and just something that I think needs to be explained. And the new system, I'm able to monitor, I should say the city's able to monitor to make sure that it's operational and working. And then if we do have a test or weather event, we can see that the tornado sirens did go on. So, and like anything, I've been telling people, it is a new system. It is a work in progress. If there are some adjustments we need to make as we go on here, obviously we're certainly open to that, and we'll look into it and make adjustments as the city council sees fit. So. Anybody have any questions on the tornado sirens?
So if they do go off and there is a test, how do you look at that test? I mean, how do they know that the siren went off? Like you said, Main Street had a problem, so there's no audible.
Right.
So what happens? You have computer screening or
right? So How the system's set up is we have a computer that's designated just to the tornado sirens. It's not operational for anything else over at the police department. It's set up with its own battery backup, and it's also set up to the generator for emergency management set up to the building, so it's always be operational. And it will tell me if we have 3 tornado sirens that have rotating heads. For those particular sirens, those sirens are located at North Main Street, Henniger Street by the elementary school, and the other one's up on Mountain Drive. Or I'm sorry, the other one's over on River Drive in Gulffield. Those sirens are set, so it'll tell me that there's a radio signal either from the county to set them off. In a test on Saturday, correctly worked, and that there was an audible sound and rotation. Now, we also have the capability now where we didn't have before, where I can send from our own radio system from the city of Mayville to set off, test the alarms, which we didn't have before. That system will also be able to tell me that that was done correctly as well. The other 2 sirens, South Clark Street, which is by MEC, and up by the Mayville Clinic, up on or by the Mayville Inn up on South Mountain Drive. Those are the newer heads that we have. Those do not turn, they're static.
And North German,
There isn't one in North German.
right there,
There isn't one in North German.
anymore, it's gone.
Oh, yep. That's right.
That knocked me out of my bed.
Yeah. So those 2 sirens are different. They're the newer type, and they also are operational, but they don't rotate. So that's how the new system is set up. It is working properly now as of the test Saturday. So hopefully, like I said, we don't need it tonight, and then we'll continue to monitor it, and if we need to make some adjustments or changes. I had a number of citizens that were kind enough to call in and explain the difference and the concerns and whatever else, and they're all, I'm coordinating back and forth with them if they can give me some feedback with the tests. We do have things, and we'll work on it as we need to.
Thank you.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is that he sees a test done every day.
That's what I wanted, yeah.
So he can see it every day that there's a test that was done and that it's working.
Right, well, I'm just checking the audio, how does it tell?
Yeah.
How does that system know that the audio went out?
Yeah, it'll say that there was an audio draw, and that only happens on Saturday.
That's what, yeah,
But I do what they call it a poll test. It's done every day at 10 a.m. And what that poll test does is it just sends communication back and forth. And just tells me that the sensors, parameters, et cetera,
everything's there.
are all functioning, but it obviously doesn't do a rotate or audible every day.
Right, correct.
So they are tested every day. We do, and we can see that data.
Very cool.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. 5B, monthly EMS report, to Public Safety Committee.
Good evening, Christine is out of town today, so I will kind of go through a few things. So we have been busy, study calls, if you listen to the scanner, it's just been kind of 2 or 3 at a time. Sometimes we don't have anything for a day, it just kind of depends. We are still 46 calls ahead of where we were last year, so still staying pretty steady. We did hire a new EMT. He was one of our EMT students. His name is Lance Thomas. He also works at the county as a 911 dispatcher, so it's a great crossover. Training this month we did with the fire department, where we practiced doing down firefighters. So whenever a firefighter goes down, if we do CPR, we have to learn like how to take out all their turnout gear. It's something we just haven't practiced on a regular basis. And then to be honest with you, it was a lot tougher than I thought it was going to be. So it was really good practice for us, and we're going to try to get that in a rotation yearly. That in May, we're going to have our medical control come and do our training. A couple more things is we had our kickoff meeting with the town of Lemira and the grant writers for the innovation grant. It went very well. We are starting to pull documents together. This is just so that they can start collecting and doing the study, which will be about 12 weeks. So around July, we're hoping to kind of have that study completed. AEMT class, we're wrapping up May 22nd. And if anybody's interested, we have a golf outing. May 31st. So we're definitely looking for teams. A little bit earlier than when we normally have it, but I think it'll be okay. This last part is, I'm gonna get through the best I can. I'm not sure if everybody has heard, but Christine has officially chosen her retirement date. It is August 1st. we've been working towards this for a couple of years. As you know, when I came in to do full time, we kind of did the training and we were starting to prepare for this. And, bringing Devin in, we just started doing this final transition. She did let, PFC know last Monday. She was going to get a letter to you guys officially, but she was out of town and it didn't make it. So she will be submitting an official letter. She did talk to both the mayor and Stephanie a few weeks ago so that they were aware of it. She does have to retire from both employers because of the retirement. So WRS requires her to be retired from both the county and Mayville. So big shoes to fill. She's made a huge legacy and we are trying to talk her into coming back as the EMT when she's able to reapply. So that's our plan. And now whether she's gonna stick with that, we're not sure. So that is what she wanted me just to share with you. And like I said, assuming when she gets it to you, Annie will get it out. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
5C, monthly fire department report for the public safety committee.
There is no one here to report, nor did they send anything.
Thank you.
I'll just comment that, they are interviewing 6 candidates this weekend for the fire chief's position. And guess I'll keep you updated with that.
They are all internal candidates. Curious.
5D, discuss with possible action uploading meeting video to YouTube in lieu of live stream.
So I had put this on the agenda, as some of you know, I'm involved with like the clerk's list and whatnot, and we had heard from some other communities, like through, Cameron, who works with Nicole. Some communities have had instances of people being able to hack the live streams and do some very unsavory things on video in real time. So I thought I would bring this to you because currently what we're doing right now as the internet is being upgraded here in the city is I'm recording via Zoom and updating it or uploading it to YouTube after the meeting. So I thought I would bring to you guys for discussion and possible recommendation to the council if you would like to continue that route. The odds of it happening in Mayville are quite slim, but not impossible. And since it has happened in a number of communities, I thought I would bring it to your attention to see if it's something you want to consider.
The way you're doing now, is that easier?
It's really indifferent. Obviously, it's not in real time. Once I record the video on Zoom, the video has to download. And then I start the upload to YouTube after that. And the longest part of that is YouTube checks for copyright infringements. So when we have a longer meeting, it's more bandwidth for it to go through to make sure we're not, putting Mickey Mouse on the screen. So there is a bit of a delay there, but the video is up by the following day. Either way is fine. Neither is terribly more intensive than the other.
I think the time limits of it would be an issue that people are gonna want to know or see it the next day or soon thereafter.
Can I ask a question? Do we have live streaming now in Mino?
Right now, we don't, as the internet is getting updated, but once IT gets everything up to snuff, we will be back to live streaming through YouTube if we make no changes.
Anybody else have any comments?
I think what we're doing now, it's uploading and afterwards, it's not a big deal. It's time is the essence, it's quicker than the newspaper, so. It's not days of horse and carriage, everyone's gotta have that instantly, we're not gonna take the opportunity or liability to have something get hacked in, not that they would be hacked in Mayville. We have crazy hackers here. That, we're gonna put some crazy propaganda on the screen, but. Yeah, I wouldn't want to even take that chance, but if it's, automatically goes, I know with the OWL system, they used to go to automatic, like live stream, I know people want to see it, they express to you, Rob, that people want to see that, well, I think the comfort of your own home afterwards is not a big deal if it's uploaded for you know, 2, 3 hours after or whatever happens, you know. So
Get a motion for us.
I'll make a motion that uploading afterward. Obviously, capturing in video and audio and uploading afterwards to YouTube would be the way to go.
Okay, I second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Yeah.
Just have to go to council.
Yes,
Number 6, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that. Yep,
Let's see.
for Public Works, yes, we do.
Good. I'll call the Public Works meeting. I guess it would be about
6:15.
6:15. When are you gonna get that clock fixed?
I'm just gonna take it off.
Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Make a
Anyway,
motion.
please take the roll.
Alderperson Smith,
Here,
Alderperson Baker,
Here,
Alderperson Leibnall is absent, but we do have a quorum.
any citizen comments? Any? Seeing none, we'll go with 4A, monthly department, public works.
Minutes.
Oh, wait, what did you, approve the meeting, the minutes, yes. Approve the minutes of the March 24th meeting,
I move to approve those minutes.
and I'll second it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Citizen comments, none. Discuss with possible action, monthly Department of Public Works report to the Public Works Committee. Is this Jack or is this? I haven't seen you in a while, Jack.
Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but the resurfacing roads that are gonna get done, we are working on all the manholes that are in tough shape. We've got over 40 of them. So I've been blessed to have Steve Mookie actually come back to work with us. We lost a guy here a few weeks ago, so he is coming in part-time. But once these manholes are completed, Steve said he's done, so, but I really thank him very much for coming in and giving us a hand with these, because we do have approximately 40 of them. So what's happening is they're caving in underneath. The concrete is like, there's nothing left to it. So we have now gone with the plastic rings, which have a 50-year warranty on them, and they are working out extremely well. So we will get those all taken care of. Our street sweeper has been out almost every day. That's gonna be out for probably a couple more weeks till we get through town. And then, we'll be putting that thing away for a little bit, but we still do it usually monthly, so. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah. I happened to hear this morning that somebody, one of your guys was talking to another guy, said, hey, why is that big concrete block on top of a manhole? And then I heard you answer back that it's because you had some tar down there and you were holding them down.
Yeah, they put the concrete block on it because they had to bring it up, and it was like 1 inch, and we don't want to add another ring, so we added tar and we had to bring it down a little bit, but it turned out fine, so
Okay,
the block is now gone.
good. Sounded like a hazardous situation.
It had barricades around.
Okay.
Any more questions on that? We have started cutting lawns. Jenny Stroop got going on that today, so we got everything cut here today, and that'll be a weekly thing if it keeps growing like this, so that is kicked in. I picked up a bunch of signs from Lang Industry today down in Oconomowoc. We're gonna start replacing all the old ones. I know we have the ones up by the schools that are really, really faded. So a lot of those will be replaced. And a lot of the street signs around town, we're gonna get done, and anything that looks faded, so. We don't get a lot for $1,600, but it's gonna be enough to get the ones that really needed it, so. Brush pickup was today, and it will be every second and last Monday of the month, so. That's all I got. Digger's hotline is also really kicking in, so.
Bulk. What does that
Bulk
start?
pickup is the end of May. That's Saturday, which I believe is 31st.
So it's nice this weekend, and
We're
it's all
getting,
ready to go.
yeah, and, you know, we do have to warn people, it's a mess out there,
Right,
so I hope people are very careful. It's a mess, so we will still have our dumpsters up where they belong. I know I talked with Courtney today and we can make sure that is open for us, so we should be good to go. Any questions?
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Jeff? All right, item 4B, monthly tax and report.
All right, go through a few things with the rec. This is the last week of golf, and finishing up all, sports sampler last week, so that pretty much finishes up all of our winter activities and sports that we have inside. This week we finished up our summer activities guide that we released. And, we're gonna have a full pack summer full of stuff. We have men's softball Wednesday nights. We have 6 teams this year. We have 3 games a night. First time that's happened since before COVID. Women's softball's Thursday night. We're trying to add bags down there also. And also possibly we had somebody come up to me and want to serve food down there, one of the businesses on Thursday night. So we're trying to make Thursday night softball. It's got a great crowd down there already. We're trying to make it a bigger, kind of more of an event type night. Then with music in the park and all that, Thursday night should be a fun night in Mayville. Along with that, we are doing pickleball. This is all stuff in summer. That's gonna be throughout the summer. Pickleball, tennis camp, 2 tennis camps, cross country camp, pole vault camp, football camps. Youth baseball, which is run through Maple Sports, and then the Legion program we have. Youth soccer, which is run through the Flyway Soccer. Swim lessons in June, we're doing again for Houston'sford. They bus 2 busloads of people, to have kids over here through their rec program. And it works out really well, nice little revenue maker for us in the middle of summer. Then we have our own swim lessons in July for 2 weeks. And our private swim lessons have been doing really well. We just redid the pricing on that, because of the pricing or what the wages have gone up for the lifeguards, so that's gonna be a nice little revenue maker for us up there. So you can see we have a lot of activities for, people to be involved in this summer, between kids, adults, everything. Any questions on any of the recreation stuff? Take Center continues to be busy. Last weekend, Saturday is the first time that we had to open up the old bike room for a class, because all 3 community rooms were rented and the bike room was rented, or we needed another room for classes that was that busy. Which is really good to see, so it still continues to do well. So I went through this, some of our paperwork and some of our records that we had to show where, because our pool down there was really kind of one of the things that was really hurting last year. So we really worked on getting the pool and the community rooms built back up. So the numbers that I got from, this is numbers from January 1st through April 25th, both 2024, 2025. So that in that time frame, which is, almost 4 months. 2024, we have 4,722 swimmers. In 2025, we had 7,885 swimmers that we registered in to swim. The community room rentals in 2024, in that same time frame, we had 24 rentals. 2025, we had 46 rentals. And in that same time frame, people that registered for the rooms, meaning how many people were in those rooms in 2024 were 694. And the amount of people in the rooms this year was 1,570. So we're trending in the right direction for the swimming and for the room rentals out there. So that's going really well. Hoping in the next month or 2 months, we'll have some numbers on the memberships and the numbers where those are going and where they're trending, and I think you'll be real happy with those also. Last night we had an in-service meeting with all lifeguards. We have to have in-service every couple months out there, so we try to do it on Sunday nights, about the best time for all lifeguards. To let everybody know all these numbers and to let everything know that through the whole winter, we're not open for one shift that we scheduled for the pool up there. So that's really good news. I'm getting some quotes for some of the fitness equipment that needs to be replaced. Over the last couple of years, some of the equipment's gotten so bad, we just couldn't even repair it anymore. So I'm getting some prices on some of that. And we're working with Stephanie on getting how we're gonna get that paid for and how we're gonna get funding for that. Then the last thing is Saturday, May 10th is the last open swim before we shut down the pool for 2 weeks. For repairs, and it will be opened back up Tuesday, May 27th. And other than that, I don't even wanna say it because it's gonna bite me in the, you know what, but we've had no major breakdowns at the tape, so everything's been running really well, so. Something happens tomorrow, next week, blame me for it, but it's been good.
The roof leak, does that leak into the bike roof?
What's that?
That roof leak?
Yeah, so that is one of the quotes I've been working on, so I got 2 quotes for the, for that stone in the front to come down, but then talking with Scott where they added the new addition on, the 2 new additions. So one is over by the blue room, which is our pickleball room, added onto the old one, in between the old wall and the new wall. We had a really hard rain, we do get some water in there, and then the same thing over in our community rooms, where the old wall from the pool and then the new wall from the community rooms, if you get really heavy rain, you have just a little bit of water on the actual windowsills. Not a lot, but something that's gonna be, when I'm gonna rebid out all these, what we're getting for the stone, have them look at all that too, then, and the seam in between the 2 buildings.
Thanks.
Okay,
I just wanna say that you're doing a great job out there, John. I wanna make a public statement on that, because, you know, I see the amount of time and energy you put into that job, and it's a lot, but I appreciate it. I think the city appreciates
Yeah,
it.
I would agree.
no,
I was-
there's a lot of really good people,
I was gonna-
a lot of people that work hard out
Well,
there.
pass along to your staff.
Yeah, they do a great job out there, their hearts are all in it.
I was gonna echo that too for you. I mean, you gotta look at it, you gotta be proud of yourself, what you did.
Oh, yeah, but you
With
can't
just-
do anything good without a
just-
great team around you though.
I don't know, just numbers
Yeah.
wise, just say,
Oh, it is, it makes it worthwhile,
so,
it's fun to see it out there, nice to come in on a Saturday
yeah,
and see the place in
Oh, I
the
know.
parking lot
I
full,
love
I mean, that's fun, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. thank you.
So,
All right. Item 4C, monthly Parks Department report to the Public Works Committee.
Hello, everybody. For the parks, obviously the sports are starting to ramp up, so we've been working on all the baseball fields and softball fields. We've been thatching them, and then recently DJ Ligas at Northwest Cable let us borrow his roller. So we've spent the past few days rolling up the fields to try to level them out. Had a few complaints up at Fireman's that it's a little bumpy, so took the roller and leveled it out the best we could. Also, we've been leaky toilets and faucets from all our parks, so even out at the pavilion, we've had a couple problems in there. Fireman's Field, them toilets, nothing but problems and all over. So we're still waiting on a few parts for that, and then once them come in, we'll touch everything up to be 100% ready. I met with Fox Den today to pick out all our flowers that we will have on Main Street this year, so everything's set in stone for that. Wednesday, we will be planting around 16 to 20 trees behind Tyler in that open field. It's like a slight hill, so you really can't build much on it. We're gonna be planting a bunch of trees there, and then in a few weeks, once more come in, we're planting more to fill in the void that we will not be able to accomplish right away. And then all the smaller trees that we planted in the past, we put some mulch around all the trees from all the production that's going on, construction behind wastewater. They had a company come in and cut down and chip all our trees, so we've been using that stuff, so straight up. It makes stuff look nice. And then a few weeks back, I'm not sure if I told you guys, we had a sewer backup at the pavilion for the polka dancing, so right now we are working on getting quotes for getting the sewer pipe lined. Cause it's just a steel pipe right now, it's all rusty and jagged, so everything's catching on it. So I have a company coming in on Wednesday to camera it to see what they'll need to do and where it needs to be patched, or if it needs to be a full lining or just like a temporary or little spot patching. So that'll be something really special. We just found out also a little bit ago, which is also in the finance committee, that our grinder, one of our grinder pumps at Tyler took a crap. So that will be a costly repair, and it's so old that they cannot fix it, so we need to go new or get a cheap one, which is just gonna break down again in the long run. And then also we set up the pickleball courts, or just one of them, I should say, because the Rotary decided to donate some concrete stain. So we're gonna do the whole thing one solid color, and then all the lines will be a different color. We're thinking blue for the whole thing, and then red, or maybe vice versa, whatever we're thinking. So we only have one pickleball court up right now, but once that gets done, both nets will be up and that should be getting going in the next few weeks here as it warms up. And then lastly, I had a meeting today with BRH as well to get started for the roofing projects for all our shelters. And they said they will have everything done by middle of July at the latest, but they're hoping to possibly do it for their first thing of the year with it being smaller. They can just pound them out and be done in no time and we'll have new shelters or new roofs for our shelter. So
Are they tearing those roofs off or are
they'll be like, if the plywood's bad underneath, they'll be putting whole new stuff on if need be, but other than that, there'll be new fascia and soffit for ones that need them, new gutters for out at Ziegler. Everything should look pretty sweet when it's all done, I would think. Other than that, do you have any questions?
They doing the one at the pavilion?
We are, the big one down below, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll get it done.
Cave out of there?
The cave, yeah, that's, it's sinking, it's a problem. They were doing that one, we're doing the bathrooms at the Spiderman's, Ribbons, shelter and building. Tyler Park, and then Main Park and then Ziegler, both of them.
Oh.
So,
The flowers that we're getting from Foxton, and they still cutting us a deal on them?
correct, yep. Yeah, but then it'll come out of the Main Street Maple budget, so.
Did you check with, I forget who we had to do it about 4 or 5 years ago, but on Clark Street, we had a few sewer laterals that we were able to fix with a chemical liner.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing, we called Speedy,
Oh,
that's what Courtney recommended, they're the cheapest one for doing the same thing everybody else does, and she said that's who they use, so that's who I called, and I'll see them on Wednesday, and we'll go from there.
Did you have it cameraed first to make sure?
They'll come in and camera it,
Okay.
that's part of their whole estimate deal.
Okay. In case there's any roots, you.
Correct, yeah, it might be a big trouble, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh, thanks.
that's all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
4E, discuss with possible, I don't know if we can do that without somebody from the sewer. 4D. 4D, oh yeah, 4D. I need, you gotta stay right there until I get my new glasses. Anyway. Maybe chapter 13 of the assessments of the City of Mayville Municipal Code. Do we have that worked out, Annie? Did she?
Stephanie, that's still with legal, isn't it?
Yes, I submitted it to Attorney Madden and I have not received the draft ordinance yet.
So we will, do I have a motion to table that till the next meeting?
So moved.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we get to 4E. Discuss with possible action. Can this be done without Courtney being?
Yeah, this is what I put on here, so. We have streets in this town that when we have water main breaks in the winter, we don't re-asphalt from center line to the curb or the whole section. We patch it, and then we get like Green Bay Drive where it's patched here, patched here, patched here. When you're going on the road, it all settles, so it's
Right.
constantly bumping all the way down the road. Why aren't we, when we re-asphalt, why aren't we having saw cut from the center line to the curb? Or if it goes over the center line, just go from curb to curb. Can't be that much more just to asphalt that section.
Wouldn't you still have now the patch would be all the way across the road, wouldn't it still be uneven all the way through?
Well, it's like when you're going on the road now, if it sinks a little bit, you're gonna have like a little dip. It ain't gonna be like one tire is up or lower than the other.
I see what you mean, yeah. So it would be a complete patch all the way across and you'd still get a bump.
Well, it's either gonna be a patch all the way across or it'll be a patch from the center line to the curb.
This could just be handled through a policy. If you wanna just draft a policy saying that we're gonna just make sure we have a full patch there instead of piecemeal. It's something that it would be just direction to the utilities and a DPW.
Well, this would, yes, but that would be more of a, more direction for.
Well, that's why,
wastewater, I think.
well, that's why I put it on here for resolution. That way we can put the resolution and send it over to the department, say this is like going forward, this is what we're gonna.
Yeah, because they come in the middle of the night or in the middle of the week, or they're doing something for, like you mentioned, Green Bay Drive, where they have to. Sometimes they charge the,
Right, but when they're done patching it up, I mean, they're gonna patch wherever the leak is, right?
right,
But when they're done patching up, they should, they should saw cut off the asphalt. And then put the gravel down. Wait with settle, then patch it.
do we need their input or?
I can definitely reach out to them to see what would be the best, practice in this situation.
Yeah,
Well, according to them, the best practice right now would be what we're doing,
so
so.
which is not a good idea,
No, that's not what we want.
right? So we have to come up with a new policy and procedure that satisfies the council and the mayor and Ward 2 Alderman. They are a mess. Right,
But I see that a lot of cities do this, it's not just, we just don't do it for whatever reason.
yeah, I know. A lot of times it happens when people are, on weekends and when there's an emergency or
Right,
something.
but I'm talking about after we get this all
Yeah.
repaired up, it's easy just to saw cut out the square that we need and then just
Yeah.
asphalt over.
So what would you suggest?
So we pass a resolution that if there's water, storm, main repairs that need to be done, that we square off the asphalt from the center line to the curb, or from curb to curb, square it off to repair the asphalt.
Did you get that, Stephanie? You know how to put that into words?
I did.
Good, maybe you can put it into words so we can act, and I think until we get something that people understand, especially the water department, then we table it until then.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sorry. Item number 5, adjournment. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And I'm positive, but just the two of us. It's gonna get worse when we get down to the next meeting here.
Would you like the gavel?
No, don't need the gavel. Call order, roll call for the City of Bayville Finance Committee meeting, April 28th, 2025. Take a roll.
Alderperson Newman,
Here,
Alderperson Smith,
Here,
Alderperson Henkel. Here, we have a quorum.
number 2, approval of the minutes of March 24th, 2025 Finance Committee meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second,
I'll second it.
Smith, Engel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3, citizens' comments. We're losing people by the minute. No citizens' comments. Number 4, discuss possible action. Number 4A, introduction of ordinance 1148-2025. An ordinance to create chapter 194 weights and measures of the municipal code of the city of Mayville. And I'm assuming that,
I think that's you, Stephanie, weights and measures.
Okay, all right. I didn't know when I started talking. So, other municipalities, when you meet the population of 5,000, you are required to have a weights and measures department. However, if you do not want to invest in that department, you can contract with the Department of Trade and Consumer Protection, which is DATCAP, and currently the city of Mayville does contract with DATCAP to provide their weights and measures. Weights and measures is for your gas stations, for instance, like Piggly Wiggly, your weights and your scales and your fluid items to make sure that people, when they're pumping gas, they're actually getting a gallon of gas. That current contract is about roughly $750. The taxpayers were paying that, but there is a process in place through ordinance that you require them to submit a license application to the clerk. And then once that's approved, then when we get the contract from the state, from DATCAP, we can special assess according to the number of devices that they have on their application, that costs back out to the business owners. So that is what this process is right now, and through adopting this ordinance, and then we'll require them to fill out applications. So this year, we received the contract in July we will have to pay that. But next year, we're gonna require them, if you adopt this ordinance, that they fill out the application effective January 1, when we get the contract placed in July. And then I'll work with Annie to get a special assessment in place through a resolution, and then they are notified, and then you can collect this expense from the business owners, excuse me. So that's what we are introducing tonight.
That's a great idea. I remember back ancient history then when the gas pumps were checked I think they were checked every year. And we had a couple of scales here out by, a weight
That
scale.
is correct. So tonight I did have Annie put on your desk, as you will see, the test that did pass, the test that failed, and the businesses that are associated with that.
Okay,
So yes, that is currently being done, Bob.
okay, thanks. Good, a great idea. And I remember we used to pay somebody to do this a long time ago, and they used to come around and check everything. But when's the last time we used to have it done by a private contractor?
You have it done annually, it's just been paid through, by the taxpayer.
No, you just asked it, when was the last time we had this done?
Yeah,
Oh, it's last year, it's being done annually.
So when's the last time we actually had charged the businesses for this?
We've never had this ordinance in place.
okay, so this is a new ordinance. This has to go to an attorney first for language or go just
Well, I think the committee passes it and then we'll go to attorney and then we'll have to have an introduction.
council? Yeah,
And then we'll have to
Yeah,
do it the month after, so we're looking at probably 60 days then.
right, but you,
this is exactly the ordinance that I adopted I didn't adopt, but I used at the city of West Bend. So it is the practice that was in place, so I'm pretty confident.
Want to waive your attorney stuff.
yeah, we can do that if she's confident that that cover. I'm just concerned that we're covering everything. If I remember right, it also covers
Scales, anybody's got scales?
scales, but also
Yes,
yeah,
you will see that list in that little packet that was submitted tonight to you, of all the different businesses that are being inspected. However, DADCAP does not inspect everybody every year. They pick and choose who's going to be inspected.
Only if you have a scale.
Yeah.
You know, a scale, I don't either, you want to charge.
Oh,
Yeah, they don't, it's devices, including scales, medium capacity scales, heavy capacity scales, lipid measuring devices. And then they do package inspections, store pack, prepackaged products for accurate quantity and correct package labeling, and then they do scanner tests
okay.
at the register.
When can we expect a schedule of who's gonna get it done when?
They do it randomly.
Surprise.
Listen to this,
like-
yeah, and if you listen to Stephanie, they do it randomly, but they check, like, right here in the packet, it'll tell you. When
Right.
Quick Trip was hit up on the
And you'll get a report on.
2023, 2024, 2024 Family Dollar, 2023 Mayville Piggly Wiggly, 24 United Co-op, so.
Right. So what do we have to do?
Pass this,
Pass it on to council, make a motion.
I'll make a motion to
Smith,
recommend this to council.
I'll second it.
Hinkle, second, all in favor, aye,
Aye.
any opposed? That's passed on to council and approved. Number 4B, discuss with possible action the 2024 invoice for land and gas reclamation landfill from GFL Environmental.
okay, so this is, we got an invoice from the landfill.
So that's right.
So what we do is we have to test, there's a company that tests all the wells out at the landfill. And, because we have 12% liability at the landfill, we have to pay a percentage of the total cost. This year was a lot more than typical. Usually it's between 6,000 and 8,000. This is why we fund this landfill fund each year to get the balance up, so we can cover some of these expenses that we incurred. But this year's invoice was at 10,162.92, what we owe for the monitoring out there, the testing.
Yeah, I was on the landfill committee then, we negotiated this LGRL thing. So was the mayor, we made the deal, and part of the deal was that that they can assess the members that agreed to reburying the landfill, any testing, and this is it, like, it is a little higher, but, this is a lot better than what it was gonna be before. But we agreed to this in spirit when we did the landfill agreement.
Right, so we did check, this is a bill that, you know, when I first got the bill, I'm like, what the heck is this for? And we started looking into it, and we found that this is something typically we pay every year or every other year.
Yeah, we do, but it generally, this year it's a little higher because they found there's more regulations about some of the chemicals they gotta watch for. And their test wells, they gotta check.
Right, that's what it is, so, someone wants to make a motion to pay the 10,162.92 and take out of Fund 22, the landfill fund.
I will make that motion.
Smith, and I'll second.
Take the roll, I would say on this.
Alderperson Smith,
Aye.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye,
Alderperson Henkel. Aye. Motion carries.
thank you. 4C, discuss with possible recommendation, replacement of grinder pump at Tyler Park.
Plumber, look at this, I take it?
Sobel, so we have people that do all our lift stations with throughout town with Courtney and stuff. And so, like I said, I had him look into like cheaper versions and whatnot, and he said there really aren't any, the actual.
Let me ask you, so when the sewage comes out of the restroom, do they go into like a holding tank and then it goes into from there to a grinder?
Correct, it goes into that tank, which grinds it and then it goes to the lift, that's also the lift station, takes it up on top of Mountain Drive.
Well, let me ask you, is there a way that if it goes into this holding tank, is there a way we can just pump that holding tank for a while?
I mean, we still have one grinder pump in there, that's still operational, but it's just the fact of if we get a big rental and say it's an all-day rental out there, that can fill up within 4 hours and then.
Oh, because it's not that big of a tank.
Correct, yeah, it's just probably the width of.
You know, I mean, we only use this down at that park just for the summer months pretty much.
Correct, shut down in the winter, that's correct, yes.
So, do you know how much he said maybe a grinder pump would cost?
I do, just the grinder pump itself without labor to install it is $6,328.88. And say the one that we have right now is obsolete or broken, then we are in a world of hurt. Cause last spring, or last fall, I should say, sorry, when this happened, when this one blew out and had a breaker blow, there was stuff everywhere and we had to call wastewater in and clean it out, and then it would fill back up and clean it out again, so having both of these operational is very important.
So this was kind of an emergency thing.
Correct.
I thought there was a lift station right there.
It is, but it's also a grinder pump as well.
Pardon me?
It is a lift and also a grinder pump.
It's all in one unit.
I know, but I thought the stuff down there on Shore Lane or whatever that is flows into that lift station, gets pumped across the river into the. Am I wrong about that? Isn't
Shore
that
Lane,
stuff
but I'm talking
running
about
by
five,
gravity?
I'm
What's
talking
that?
about TW and by.
right, Tyler Park on TW.
Tyler Park.
Oh, Tyler Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That was a annexation we did, but we didn't get, yeah.
Well, it's, Stephanie, do you have any idea, like, where do we wanna get the funds from? You wanna take it out of contingency, or what's your thoughts on this?
I believe he has, money in his budget to cover this.
Or you do?
I can, yeah, we can make it work.
You didn't tell us that point.
Oh, I mean, like, if we want to take it somewhere, we
He's
can.
good.
But I mean,
But I asked the administrator.
we can, I mean, we have money for it, but if we wanna put it elsewhere, to take less of the hit in the budget, that's also an option.
Right.
Were we planning that annexation, how did you reminded me, that annexation off of TW? Weren't we planning on doing something for any sewer needs there? Then we would, this is kind of,
Yeah, I'm not sure how that sewer gets run. I think the sewer runs to the back, doesn't
Correct.
it? It goes up from that park, goes straight to the east up to one of them cul-de-sacs.
Yeah, up to Mountain Drive there.
So
Or one of them
I don't think
cul-de-sacs.
we couldn't tap into that to go across the street for that plan. We'd have to actually come by Bernhard, where that's where that ends there. We'd have to cross the state highway, that's a whole nother mess.
all right, I remember when we hooked up with Kikoski between there and here, by state statute, we had to service the 2 or 3 property owners between here and Kikoski, because our lift station went from Kikoski to here, was here, and Kikoski pumped into it. And the 2 or 3 private sewers, we had to allow them to hook up with a
Right.
grinder pump because it's,
Yeah, that's between,
yeah,
that was between, Y, right, between Kikoski and Mayo, there's a couple of people that, or septic took a dump and they needed to, they asked for permission to hook onto the city's, force main with a grinder pump.
you don't see anything that would that we're messing up. You know, with a new need over there by the, Rose property or any of that, nothing has happened with any of that yet?
No,
All right,
so I guess the recommendation would be the staff are making a recommendation to pay for new grinder pump.
Yeah, what was the- what was
Not
the
to
labor?
exceed so much,
It did.
take it out of their budget,
It's whatever, I think it's like,
yeah, $50 an hour, something like that.
Stephanie,
Do we still have you, Steph?
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
so not to exceed 6,500.
Yes, that would be good.
All right, I'll make
But
that
it's
motion.
at
Oh, yeah.
oh, it's gonna exceed 6,500.
How much?
That's not including labor.
Oh, does it give you a
And
price?
it does not give me the price based on labor, but from me having them in the past, for being there less than an hour, it's been around, varied from like 300 to 400.
Oh, so it's not a,
So it's gonna be,
No,
less than 7,000, I'd say then.
you can hope,
7,500.
yeah, we can hope so.
All right, 7,500.
Okay, I'll amend my motion to say that.
All right, perfect.
So you gotta take the.
Bob Smith,
Aye.
And a second,
go ahead,
Um,
second.
then we'll do the roll. Alderperson Smith,
aye.
Alderperson Newman,
Aye,
Alderperson Henkel. Aye. Motion carries.
number 5. Any motions?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Smith, Engel, all in favor, aye, yep, opposed, none, thank you, we are adjourned,
Good.
thank you.
Got one more, new personnel.
Yes. Let the record show that Alderman Ward 3, I guess it is. Alderman Ward, no, Ward 4.
Six.
Ward 6, oh yeah. Count the 10 chairs all the way to the end.
What are you up to down there, Bob?
What's that?
What are you up to down there?
Running the show,
Trying to remember what day it is. I was.
What do you-
Call to order the Mayville Personnel Committee meeting, April 20th, 2025. We'll take the roll. Alderperson Henkel. Here. Alderperson Olson. Here. Alderperson Leeknow is absent, but we have a quorum. Okay. Number 2, approval of the minutes from the March 24th, 2025 meeting. Kevin, that's you.
Well, I'm trying to figure out when we're starting early yet.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock for committees,
I have 7 in my phone.
common council 7.
I normally make a phone call to you to remind you.
Yeah. Okay, say it again one more time.
We have to approve the minutes of March 24th
Okay.
meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the
I'll
minutes.
second. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. Any citizens comments? Seeing none. Discuss with possible action, review section 5.06 grievance procedures of the draft City of Mayville Employee Handbook.
Go to the agenda.
You're on the first.
I think we're on personnel and finance.
Yeah.
We want this one here.
Oh.
The hiring process.
Okay.
Discuss with possible action, hiring process for Department of Public Works Director position and Department of Public Works organizational structure.
If I can talk here?
Yep.
Okay, we can table this to the next meeting. The direction was to send the the Public Works Director position out for internal applicants. However, I didn't have a job description in place, and the organizational structure can be tabled to the next meeting until you can decide what direction you want to go. If you want to go with a director and assistant director, or if you want to go with a director with an additional laborer, that can definitely be decided after we have Parks and Director position in place. So that is up to the committee, what they want to do.
We table it, Kim.
I'd like to. I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second it.
All in favor, I guess.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4B, discuss with possible action Department of Public Works Director job position. Same thing.
This is what we need action on, because the direction was to post this position. However, I didn't have a job description in place. So, I would recommend that, the job description, if you could approve the job description and post it for 2 weeks for internal applicants, that would be great. That would be more than sufficient for internal, a time period for applicants.
All right,
This is good.
I can make that motion.
Supplementally. Okay. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve posting it. And the posting internally for 2 weeks? Yes. Thank you.
And I'll second it then.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 4C, discuss with possible action separation payment for Library Director Leslie Schultz.
Pretty much. Sure. So what we did here, I worked with the HR and with Nicole, and we prorated her vacation. It starts on January 1, so we prorated it to the hours worked until April 11th when she left. And that would be equivalent to what is in the payout of 33 hours of vacation time. She was hired after 2011, so there is no sick time. And personal holidays are holidays, so they are not paid out. So there would be 33 hours in vacation time.
Do you have a breakdown of how much, the dollar amount?
Yeah, you should have the worksheet in your package. It's $1,047.08 for the vacation time that's due to her.
I'll make a motion to, have the payment of $1,047.08 as the payout to Library Director Leslie Schultz.
I'll second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. 6:58.
We have to
Thank
table,
you, everybody.
we have
Thank
to
you.
end that second meeting.
Goodbye.
Aye. So personal and finance, the whole, we wanted to table this, correct, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we should at least call them.
Call it to order.
Call it
Yep.
to order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Molly can do that.
Oh, wait a minute here.
Yes,
That's this one.
Okay,
well-oiled machine, we got it.
We're getting there.
call to order the Personnel and Finance Committees of the whole.
I will do roll. Alderperson Baker,
Here.
Alderperson Smith,
Here,
Alderperson Henkel. Here. Alderperson Newman,
Aye.
Alderperson Olson,
Here,
Alderperson Lee now is absent. We have a quorum.
Any citizen comment?
Any citizens coming? Number 3, discuss with possible action, section 5.4 overtime competences. Time of the City of Mayville Employee Handbook as it pertains to overtime and worked hours.
The request is that this be tabled to next month.
Can I get a motion to table it?
say,
next
say
month?
that,
The request was that this be tabled to next month.
okay, I'll make a motion to table.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 6:59.
Yeah, adjourned.
Can do order of the chair.
Order of the chair.
Meeting's adjourned at 6:59.